The morning is the foundation of the day, and for a man practicing semen retention, the way he begins his morning can either strengthen his discipline or weaken his resolve. Let's imagine a man named David, a senior professional in his late 30s, who has been practicing semen retention for several months. Before adopting this lifestyle, his mornings felt chaotic, hitting snooze repeatedly, rushing through a quick breakfast, and feeling drained before the day even started. But once he committed to retention and rebuilt his habits, he discovered that mornings became a sacred time, an opportunity to align his mind, body, and spirit. On semen retention, mornings take on a new meaning because they are not just about productivity, but about channeling conserved energy into focus and discipline. For David, the morning routine is no longer just a set of tasks. It is a ritual that sets the tone for his confidence, his presence, and his ability to carry self-mastery throughout the day. The first part of his morning begins before he even gets out of bed. When David wakes, he resists the temptation to scroll through his phone or lie around. Instead, he begins with gratitude, silently acknowledging three things he appreciates: his health, his discipline, and the opportunity of a new day. Gratitude immediately shifts his mind from lack to abundance, and this is crucial for a man on retention. Instead of thinking about what he is abstaining from, he focuses on what he is, building strength, clarity, and purpose. After a few minutes of gratitude, he sits up, closes his eyes, and practices deep breathing. These breaths are not shallow. They are full, slow, and deliberate, sending oxygen into his system and calming his nervous energy. As a man on retention, mornings can bring heightened energy levels, sometimes even restlessness, so breathwork channels that energy into calm awareness. This first act of discipline, choosing gratitude and breathing over distractions, reminds David that his life force is not meant to be wasted, but directed with intention. After grounding himself mentally, David moves into the physical part of his morning routine. Retained energy is powerful, and without physical release, it must be expressed through movement. He begins with stretches, loosening his shoulders, hips, and back, areas where tension often builds up. Then he transitions into a short workout, push-ups, squats, or yoga poses that awaken his body. This isn't just about fitness, it's about embodying strength and discipline. For a man on semen retention, the body becomes a vessel of energy, and movement keeps that energy flowing instead of becoming stagnant. As he moves, he feels the surge of vitality, the intensity in his muscles, the clarity in his focus. Women and colleagues later notice the glow in his skin, the firmness in his posture, and the sharpness in his gaze, all of which are amplified by these consistent physical practices. By the end of his short workout, David doesn't just feel awake, he feels unstoppable, ready to channel his energy into the challenges ahead. The third stage of David's morning routine is reflection and visualization. Sitting with a journal, he writes down his goals for the day, reminding himself of the bigger vision he is working toward. For a man on semen retention, clarity of purpose is vital. Without purpose, energy gets scattered and temptation grows stronger. David writes about his mission, not just professional tasks, but his personal growth and the legacy he wants to leave behind. He then spends a few minutes visualizing success, speaking confidently in meetings, staying calm under pressure, and radiating leadership that inspires trust. Visualization channels his sexual energy upward, transforming it into creative and productive force. When he closes his eyes, he doesn't just see his goals, he feels them, as though he is already living them. This practice not only boosts his motivation, but also strengthens his self-belief, reminding him that every moment of retention is building the man he envisions himself to be. Breakfast becomes the next key ritual. Before retention, David often reached for sugary snacks or heavy meals that left him sluggish. Now, he sees food as fuel for his energy and chooses simple, nourishing options: oatmeal, fruits, eggs, or tea. He avoids overindulgence because he knows that discipline in diet mirrors discipline in other areas of life. Eating clean supports the hormones and energy levels retention provides, ensuring his body stays aligned with his goals. As he eats, he avoids distractions like TV or endless scrolling. Instead, he eats mindfully, appreciating each bite. This mindful eating, paired with the discipline of semen retention, reinforces his sense of control over his body. It's not just about avoiding release, it's about mastering appetites across the board. By choosing self-control in small things like diet, David strengthens his self-control in larger battles, ensuring that his retained energy continues to serve his growth instead of being lost to weakness. Finally, David ends his morning routine by stepping outside, whether for a short walk, a moment in the garden, or simply standing on his balcony. He takes in the sunlight, feels the breeze, and connects with nature. This step grounds him, reminding him that retention is not just about personal gain, but about aligning himself with life itself. Nature has rhythms, cycles, and discipline, and semen retention is about aligning with those natural forces of vitality and creation. As he walks or stands, David feels connected to the larger world, and this connection reminds him that his discipline is part of something greater. When he returns indoors, he is fully charged, not just physically, but mentally and spiritually. His co-workers later sense his energy, his calm, confidence, and his leadership presence, but they cannot pinpoint its source. They realize that the secret lies in his morning routine and the way semen retention amplifies its effects. For David, every morning is not just preparation for the day, it is a declaration of who he is becoming. A disciplined man, a purposeful leader, and a living example of the power of self. Before we conclude, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to drop your location in the comments. I'd love to know where you're rewatching from. And if you ever have any questions, join our Telegram channel where we interact directly and help each other grow. The link is in the description.